What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trash Talk with me, Rocky Padilla. And on this episode, I got the legendary point guard in Southeast Asia, and also he could be the future president of the Philippines. It's Jimmy Alapag. How you doing, Jimmy?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for having me, man.
Alright.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Now will attack mula sa kaliwa, out to Jimmy. Could this be it? Yes, sir! He is the all-time 3 points made record holder in the PBA. That was brought to us by Opo Efones, selfie expert.
What a huge 3-point shot by Jimmy Alapag. Does that push us morale?
So correct me if I'm wrong. You retired from basketball twice, right?
Yes, I retired twice. I was with Talking Tex for about 12 and a half years in the PBA, and then you know, I felt like at that particular time it was time to retire. My daughter was just born, so I felt like it was an opportunity to really be at home more and be with my kids. But you know, after you fast forward 7-8 months, and you know, a door opened with Morocco, and you know, my wife was really supportive in having me come back to play one more time.
Okay.
And really the deciding factor in coming back to play were my kids.
Okay.
You know, talking to close friends, talking to family. The common message was, if you can still do it and you can have your kids watch you play, you know, you'll never get the time back. So might as well get out there and try to play at a high level again with my kids watching.
So on this, after playing for Morocco, when did you realize that it was time to hang it up?
You know what's funny? So when I came back, the whole plan was for me to help Morocco win, because they'd never been to the finals, never won a championship in the franchise's history. So, you know, my role with Coach Norman was come to the team, help lead, help mentor some of the younger guys. First conference, we're dead last in the PBA, you know, and so, you know, there were a lot of nights I was going home talking to my family and.
But you were rusty, probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played okay,
oh, you played okay.
But definitely not at the level that I wanted to, and not good enough for us to win. So I remember a lot of nights going home telling my wife, like, man, I think, you know, I hope I didn't put my foot in my mouth, thinking that I could still come back at 38 years old. But second conference came around, and you know, there was a lot of improvement. We made it to the semifinals, and then ultimately we made it to the finals the last conference. We lost to Ginebra in the finals in Game 6, but just to have our team make so much progress in such a short time was pretty awesome. But there was a moment during those finals where I knew that it was time. The finals were 1-1, so we'd won Game 1, we'd lost Game 2, and we're watching the tape, because in the PBA in the finals you play every other day. So, you know, we won on a Wednesday, we lost on a Friday. So here's Saturday morning, we're watching the tape, and Ginebra's just sending everybody for the rebound. You know, I'm 38. You know, I don't rebound like I used to. So I'm literally standing at the free throw line watching them shoot the shot and waiting for the outlet pass. So we're watching the tape. Everybody's going in for the rebound. L.A. Tenorio, Saul Mercado, J.J. Hilterbrand, Mark, everybody's going to rebound. And I'm just watching, right? And so it happens like once or twice, and I'm looking at Coach Norman waiting for him to say something. Happens the third time, you know, I start to see him look in my direction. Finally, the fourth time, you know, he turns around, he's just like, hey, Jimmy, you know, you need to get your ass in there and rebound too, right? So that night when I went home, I felt so bad, because, you know, I kept telling myself I didn't want us to lose the finals because I wasn't doing my job. So I said, you know, I'm gonna go throw back, and I'm gonna try to be athletic like I used to be a long time ago. And you know, came out, had a great game. You know, Game 3 we played, you know, I played really well, the team played well, had like 7 or 8 rebounds, which is the most rebounds I think I had the entire season. So we win Game 3. Man, Rocky, I tell you, when I woke up the next morning, I was so tired and so sore. Like, you know, I think I played 30 plus minutes, and during the course of the year, I was probably about 25 minutes a game. You know, I mean, that's pretty much what I could give quality. Anything after that, it was, you know,
it was like 10 minutes over your time.
Yeah, and I just remember being so tired. You know, my body just like hurt, and so, you know, we only had one day to recover before the next game, and so did the whole recovery thing, you know, from seeing our PT and getting on the Normatec, ice, massage, everything. And even the day of the game, you know, I was still, you know, my hamstrings were super tight, my calves were tight, and so here it is to start of game 4, and right before the game, you know, I had doubts that I could play, and it wasn't because I was hurt, and it wasn't because I was tired, it was just that I didn't have enough recovery time, and that was tough, you know, when you pride yourself on being in great shape and being there for your team, and here you are in the finals and possibly your last season, and you know your body just says, hey, I need another day, which you don't have. So that's really when I knew. That's when I knew that regardless of what happened in the finals, that was going to be.
But how did you play in the game further?
No, I didn't. You know, I played the first 2 minutes, and I swear, man, my hamstring was so tight, I couldn't run. And so coach took me out of the game, and at halftime I tried to get loose for the second half, but you know, coach didn't want to take a chance of me pulling my hamstring, and so I sat out literally all of game 4. We were winning all the way to the end, and then, you know, Mark Agiwa and JJ Helterbrand, they went into a throwback performance in the 4th quarter, made some big shots and made some big plays, and they ended up tying the series, and I think that really kind of shifted the momentum from there.
So let's switch gear. You played 13 years, right? Overall?
Yes. Yep.
So what was your favorite moment of your basketball career?
Favorite moment? In the PBA, it would have to be winning the All-Filipino Championship 3 straight times.
Okay. What year was that?
That was 2000. I think that was 2011, 12, and 13.
Okay.
Just because not just the championships, but really the group of guys we had.
Okay.
Man, just a really, really special group of guys who had so much love and so much respect for each other. And as competitive as practices were, it just made the game so much easier for us. And you know, just really quality players and quality people. And I think that's, you know, I think in sports, that's what you really try to have, you know, at some point in your career, just a chemistry with your team where guys understand the level of commitment and focus that you need to have to win. And I really felt like with that group, that's what we had. And of course with Gilas, it has to be the Korea game in 2013. You know, the Philippines has had so much bad history, you know, over the last, you know, the previous 20 years, a lot of heartbreaking losses to Korea, and so getting an opportunity to play against Korea in the semifinal with a chance to go to the World Cup at home, you know, that's, you know, it was special. And again, you know, I was fortunate enough to be with another very, very special group of guys who, you know, who at the end of the day, you know, knew the responsibility of playing for the national team and the responsibility of coming through in that particular game. And,
I'm so jealous actually, because my dad was actually at that game in Manila. He showed me like live feature, like, man, I want to go there too. I want to watch that game.
You know, that was probably the only game in my life of playing, you know, playing the game for over 30 years. After the game, after we had won, I mean, everybody was in tears.
Wow.
Just because, you know, playing for Gilas, you know, it means something to every Filipino, not just in the Philippines, but all the Kababayans who work all over the world. You know, I think that's kind of the bridge for everybody who's outside of the Philippines. And you know, as you and I both know, you know, basketball to Filipinos is kind of engraved in the culture, and you know, basketball is life, basketball is religion. So to share that moment, not just with the guys on our team and the coaches, but the country itself was really, really special.
Okay, let's talk about the World Cup in 2014. What can you remember from that?
You know, I'll tell you what, the preparation for that World Cup was so tough. You know, and again, I think I was already 36 or 37 at the time. So I knew that it was going to be my one and only opportunity in the World Cup. And the practices were grueling. I mean, you know, really tough. But again, you know, we had such a great group. You know, it just made basketball fun because guys were so competitive. But, you know, again, you know, we were like, man, we're in the World Cup. You know, and who knows if this particular group will ever have another opportunity to be here. So, man, you know, it was tough because You know, we open up against Croatia, lose to them in overtime.
So close.
You know, we play, you know, Argentina. You know, we lose to them. You know, by 2 points or 3 points. And so, you know, we're playing so many of these close games. It was tough, you know, and looking at the crowd support that we got, you know, so many Filipinos, not just around Spain, but from Manila, took the long trip to Sevilla to watch us play. So to finally get at least one win before we left Sevilla was, you know, was again, it was really special, and it meant a lot, not just to us and to the Gilas program, but I think to everyone back home, because I think it was a sign and sort of a foundation that, you know, the Philippines can compete against the best in the world, and now the challenge is how can Gilas continue to stay at that level.
And then you were playing against Giannis also, right?
Yeah,
Giannis,
yeah.
and then JJ Barrea.
Yep.
Who else can I remember from Argentina?
Luis Scola, Pablo Prigioni, Andres Nocioni.
How was that experience for yourself? Like,
you know, it's funny, Rocky. Like when you're, you know, you see these guys on tape, you're like, damn, man, they're really good.
Are they faster in real life?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, everything that you see on tape and then you see it in real life, it's kind of, you know, you almost have to take a step back and say, hey, you know, hey, they're here. You know, we need to play. But like the moment for me was, you know, before the FIBA games, you know, you always line up across from each other. So they'll call out the starting lineup for Greece or Puerto Rico or Argentina, and so all those guys are standing across from me. And you know, when you're standing there and your national anthem's playing and you're looking across and you're seeing the competition, for me, that's when it kind of hits home. Like, hey, we're here. You know, this ball's gonna get thrown up and we're gonna play. And you know, anybody who loves competition, I mean, that's what it's all about. And you know, it's something that I always dreamed of being a part of. And you know, to be a part of it with those group of guys just made it more special. Now
you are head coach of the Filipinas in ABL. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And what will be the biggest difference of being a player and being a coach?
I think the biggest difference is, you know, you're helping now. You know, you're helping the players, but in a much different capacity. You know, as a player, especially for me as a point guard, you know, you're always so conscious about your matchup, your guys, you know, their matchup, who to get the ball to, when to be aggressive, you know, what plays are they calling, what defense are we in. So, you know, as a player, you're kind of, you know, you're in the game. But I think as a coach, you know, having been an assistant this last year, I think you have a much broader perspective of the game, because you're able to see it from a different perspective and start to see things from the sideline that you wouldn't necessarily see when you're playing. And so, you know, it's a lot of watching video, a lot of studying. I almost feel like I'm back in school a little bit, but yeah, you know, I'm thankful for the opportunity with Alab and really looking forward to the upcoming ABL season.
You get an itch when you're coaching, like, man, I want to be on the court playing.
No, you know what? Hey, you know what? I don't. I get that question a lot. You know, a lot of people say, you know, wow, you know, you're an assistant coach, you know, with Morocco and Gilas, and now you're a head coach for Alab. You know, don't you miss playing because you're still in the gym? And believe it or not, man, I don't. I'll always miss the competition. I'll always miss being out there competing. But you know, I turned 40 here in a few months, and I just know for myself that my body couldn't play at the level that I expect of myself. But I'm at peace with that, and to have the opportunity now to, you know, help the new generation for Gilas and to help the players that I have with Alab, it's exciting. It's exciting to be able to have a chance to help these guys in their career.
So do you have an assistant coach yet?
I'm
available.
hey, I might have to bring you to Manila to come help out. You're pretty familiar with the ABL.
I know,
so
man. I could do some scouting for you.
You gotta send me your resume so I can show management.
I want to talk about these two. I think I consider it the two greatest point guards ever in Southeast Asian history. You and our guy from Indonesia, Mario Wuysang. Shout out to Mario. Do you have any story with Mario that you can share with us?
Well, you know, with Mario and I, back when I was coming to the Philippines was around the same time that he was coming to Indonesia to play, and at that particular time, there weren't many guys from the States going back to play in the respective countries. So, you know, I knew of him, but we didn't meet probably for a few years.
Okay.
And you know, it was. I think there's always just been mutual respect because I heard how well he was doing in Indonesia, and he would say the same thing that he heard that I was doing well in Manila. So I think right from day one when we finally had an opportunity to meet, that there was just a mutual respect. You know, we play the same position, and you know, through the years, you know, we would always see each other during different tournaments. But one tournament in particular in 2011, we were in Wuhan, and you know, we had a chance to talk a little bit more than we had in years past. And again, at that time, we'd already been playing professionally for quite some time. I knew about all of his success in Indonesia. He knew of mine in the PBA. So, you know, we just had a chance to talk and you know, just get to know each other a little bit better. And again, you know, just a guy who you know, I respect a lot. And here I am not playing anymore, and he's still here representing for Indonesia and still playing at a high level. So, you know, it's great to still see him out there competing, and again, just somebody who I have a lot of respect for.
Do you guys have Mario on your scouting report?
You know, I will. If he plays the upcoming ABL season.
No, even for this, if you guys play Indonesia in the
finals.
finals.
You know, if he's already on the scouting report. We'll see what happens when they play Thailand tomorrow. But yeah, absolutely, he's definitely on the scouting report.
But what do you like the most about his game?
You know, I think the biggest thing that I like about Mario's game is not just his ability to shoot and his ability to run the team, but you know, something that I take a lot of pride in is just his leadership. I think he does a great job and has done a great job for so many years now of just leading his team and being the example and making the winning play. It may not necessarily be scoring the most points or getting the most assists, but at the end of the day, we play the game to win. And you know, and he's a winner. And I think because of his leadership with his teams, he makes the plays for his teammates to ultimately win the game. And again, I think that's something that I take a lot of pride in myself. So it's something that I respect about him.
Okay. All right. Thank you again, Kuya Jimmy.
Thanks, Rocky. I really appreciate it, man.
I really appreciate it too.
Yep. Thank you.
So guys, thank you guys for watching. And you guys can follow Jimmy Alapag on Instagram at
Alapag3, and I'll be seeing you guys soon, hopefully, for the upcoming ABL season. So to everyone there in Indonesia, thank you, and see you soon.
And then you can follow me on Instagram at Rocky Padilla Photo. So thank you guys again for watching, and don't forget to follow him on Instagram. So I'll see you guys on the next episode of Trash Talk. See you guys.